The mind, what it does is it likes to conjure up stories of superiority and being better than others, and it can make us feel superior and better than others. But you see, the thing is that this is all comparison. It's all myself and other. And this fundamentally supports separation. And the thing is that, you know, what is considered to be one of the deepest spiritual truths is oneness. Over the years, I've traveled around and I've spent time in various spiritual communities, and I've noticed that there is this kind of underlying, bit controversial shadow that is spiritual superiority. And the irony is that when we think about all of these, the greatest spiritual teachers, they all radiate humility. If our mind likes to conjure up these kind of stories of superiority, then it must also be because we also feel inferior in some way, whether consciously or subconsciously. The superior thoughts, what they do is they make us feel good. You know, they give us this high. So why do we need to feel that high in the first place? If we need to feel greater than or better than those around us, it's probably because there is a part of us that believes that we are not already enough. If we observe ourselves and our kind of mental dialogue really carefully, then we can sometimes notice that there is this inferiority complex and superiority complex kind of working in conjunction with one another. You know, the Kabbalion, it states that we live in a universe that is governed by the principle of rhythm. So sometimes we can kind of yo-yo between these inferiority complexes and superiority complexes, almost as if there's this kind of tug of war sometimes between them, you know. So before I sidetracked, going back to what I was saying, the superiority complex, what it does is it creates me and the other. These comparisons, what they do is they create separation. So, you know, on the spiritual path, what is happening is that we are actually waking up to our truth, to our deeper truths, and we are alchemizing. And the thing is that I do believe that the universe actually is kind of trying to help us to evolve. It's on our side, and these mysterious forces, I witness how I'm constantly humbled. I go through these periods of like great humbling where things unfold in my life that kind of knock me down a few pegs. For example, we meet someone or a group of people that knock us down a few pegs because of their own achievements, or maybe we're knocked down by failing something that we thought we would achieve, but actually we didn't, we were not successful in it. You know, we could spend time with our family or friends and then get triggered a lot and see a side of ourselves that we thought we were past. We could lose things that we own, things that we derived our sense of self from, you know, our sense of worth, things like belongings, money, jobs, social status, etc. All of these experiences, they bring lessons and they do humble us. You know, I kind of feel this burning sensation within me, within the depth of my core, where I feel like something is dying. You know, within the alchemical transformation process, it's this calcination. It's like the burning up of my ego. Perhaps we're given these lessons along the way to really deeply understand that there is no separation, and to like feel that connection to all that is, and really kind of eliminate these thoughts of being better than others, realizing that, you know, that person is a reflection of me and they are me, and, you know, my story of my wealth and my achievements and, you know, my knowledge, all of that is transient, whereas the soul, however, it is not. And, you know, we exist within creation itself, coming from the same sea of energy. So what can we do about this superiority complex? Well, I guess I can only speak from my personal experience, and a lot of it has come from keeping tabs on my spiritual ego and from these thoughts and these kind of superiority complex, just as I do the inferior one. Like, you know, I guess through the light of awareness itself, we're shining the light on these thoughts and this complex, and it can no longer exist really if we cast the light on it. At the end of the day, it's simply a thought pattern. Once we actually shine the light on it, it is like a thought pattern that will eventually fade away as we no longer feed it attention. I think it's important to really admit to ourselves what thoughts we're having, write them down in a journal, and just be honest with ourselves. And actually, this sometimes can be a little bit surprising when we realize the kind of thoughts that we're actually having, bringing them out of the shadows. But that's great, because we're not just putting a lid on it and letting it manifest over the years into some sort of untamable, like uncontrollable spiritual ego, and there's like no going back. I'm sure there is always a way to go back, but still it becomes a little bit more difficult maybe if it's really deeply ingrained over the years. So yeah, I have, I've had to put myself in situations where I've had to be really, really honest with myself, and even I felt intuitively guided at one point to ring up some of my friends and admit to them the kind of thoughts I was having, these superiority, like these ugly thoughts. Obviously that's probably not for everyone, but I felt intuitively guided to do it at the time, and it did help me in this crazy way. Doing these sort of things over the years, it has helped me to mature a bit more spiritually, and I'm not the same person that I was when I initially woke up. I guess a lot of this taming of the spiritual superiority is just cultivating humility, and that is something that is built up over time. It's a process. We just need to make sure that we go in the direction of humility as opposed to spiritual superiority. I feel that humility really comes through letting go of me and my story, my achievements, my wealth, my levels of awareness, if you will. Letting go of all this kind of egoic identity of me and my story, and actually kind of really falling into unconditional love and falling into this connection with all that is. So I think that's all I want to say. And thank you so much for watching this channel. My name's Jasmine. I'm offering free one-on-one 25-minute video calls if you want to speak with me, and I'll link that below. So yeah, please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye 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 bye.